Hi, and welcome to today's video on the one-handed backhand. And in our continuing series on developing the one-handed backhand in the modern game, I've had a lot of great feedback from many of you regarding the prior videos that I put on YouTube. And I've also had many questions regarding the high bouncing ball and the high contact and how to deal with this high ball on the backhand side. And I think there's been a lot of interest this year because of the success that Roger Federer has had defending that high bouncing ball. And I'm going to give you a couple of options today on how to play that high bouncing ball and continue to make your one-handed backhand a high quality weapon. Before we get into today's video, I highly encourage you to watch the previous videos that I've presented here on YouTube on the one-handed backhand. In particular, video number 2 on how the left hand really is the key piece that manages and organizes the one-handed backhand. And then video number 3 on really how you develop the power and control in the swing and where that power and control comes from. And if you don't get that power and control really developed through the shoulder as presented in the previous video, playing the high contact is very, very difficult to do. Okay? So again, in the previous video, we talked about how the power of the shoulder, the rotation in and then the rotation up is what enables the racket head to take acceleration into the ball and create the topspin. And that is a key piece to get in there because you're going to need that movement to play the contact, the high contact up around shoulder high, because you can't come up to that ball and have your hand and your racket at the same level to play that contact. So the racket head needs to get higher than the hand to make your contact in that shot, okay? So the power of the shoulder and the acceleration and the rotation up and through is what's going to enable the high contact to be achievable and to be able to accelerate onto the ball, neutralize the ball, and play an offensive shot in return. So really you've just got to develop that shoulder power, okay? Now when you're playing and you receive a ball that bounces in the three-quarter area of the court or deeper, and that ball is going to bounce up, you have a couple of options. The first option you have is to just stay back and just take the ball as it comes up into the shoulder area. And the benefit of that is you'll have a little bit more time to adapt to the ball and then play it. But again, the contact point is a little bit compromised. It's hard to generate the same amount of power up in the shoulder area as it is through the waist. So you're probably not going to be able to hit consecutive backhands over and over again from that height and really penetrate the court. So that is an option. You can do that, and I think that's okay. But one thing, you really don't want that ball to get over the shoulder, because once it gets higher than the shoulder, the weakness in the movement becomes quite significant. So it's not going to help you if the ball gets higher, okay? Now, if the ball comes in and it's a little shallower in the court, but it comes in with a high trajectory, you could move back and let the ball drop a little bit and then play it and then come back into the court. So you could also do that. But for the deeper ball, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. The other option you have on the high ball is to move in and take the ball early. So when you see the ball coming in, rather than staying back and letting the ball rise up into you, you can see it, you can anticipate where it's going to bounce, and you can move into it quickly, prepare, and take the ball right off the rise. And the benefit of that movement is that you will take time away from your opponent, you'll play the ball in a much more comfortable contact zone, and it's just a much more offensively minded shot. And it's also going to help you with return of serve later on too. So there's a lot of benefits to learning the skill of getting prepared and taking the ball right off the rise and holding your position in the court. So you're going to run less, you're going to return the ball quicker, and you're going to just have a much more offensive mindset as you play this shot. The challenge, of course, is that the ball is coming off the court, and the timing of that is a little bit more difficult. The way to practice taking the ball off the rise that I found was simply to place balls for myself and learn how to take them off the rise. And then once you get skillful at doing that and really understand how to take the ball off the rise, then start to maybe work with a ball machine or work with your coach or whatever and practice the skill of preparing and then just taking the ball right off the rise. And as you learn how to do that, it's a lot of fun. It's really one of my favorite shots. And you know, for Roger Federer, I think it's really changed the way he plays tennis, and against Rafael Nadal in particular, is he has this, I'm going to stand in, take the ball early, and play the ball with confidence mentality. And I think that if we pointed back to the Australian Open 2017, we could easily say that that was the biggest difference in his game and perhaps the reason why he did indeed win that Grand Slam. So I think we can all do it. I think you can do it. It's just really working on the skill and developing how you take that ball early off the rise. So get out there and work on it. And I think that with these two options, understanding how to use the power and control the shoulder and how to use your footwork and your preparation to take the ball off the rise, you can really begin to defend those higher bouncing balls on the one-handed backhand. I welcome your feedback. Please give me a like, send some comments, subscribe to the YouTube channel here if you have not already, and stay tuned for more fun, interesting, and helpful videos coming forward.